So here is another explanation of why the derivative of a difference is equal to the difference of the derivatives. So we already know a couple things here. We already know that the derivative of a sum is equal to the sum of the derivatives. In other words, the same exact formula here, but with plus instead of minus. We know that's true from an earlier video. And we also know that constant multiples can be pulled out of derivatives. So we're going to use these two facts to get the derivative of a difference rule here. So the derivative of f of x minus g of x is d dx of f of x minus g of x equals d dx of this. So what is this? Well, when we say something minus something else, minus really means you're multiplying by -1. So when we subtract something like this, what we're really saying is plus -1 times that. So f of x minus g of x really means f of x plus -1 times g of x. Now, what is this? F of x plus -1 times g of x. That's a sum, and we know that the derivative of a sum is equal to the sum of the derivatives. So from our results from an earlier video, we know that we can say this. We know that this is true. So what's going on here now? This is the derivative of -1 times g of x. -1 is a constant multiple, so we know from a different earlier video that we can pull constant multiples out of derivatives. So we can pull the -1 out of the derivative, and we end up with this. And finally, remember what we said a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago here, was if we have plus -1 times something, that's the same thing as saying minus that something. So we end up with our desired result. d dx of f of x minus g of x is equal to the derivative of f minus the derivative of g. Now, this process we went through might feel kind of shady, almost like cheating, but it's actually completely legitimate here. What we did was we really just used previous results to simplify the process that we go through to obtain a new result. And that's very common, very typical in math. And really, if we can do that, that's the desired method to use.